more sidechain, always more sidechain. That automate, bass, then chords, then bass, then chords. Slamming my eardrums. Hey guys, it's Slynk here, and we're back with another Feedback Friday episode. And we're going to be listening to more of your songs, and I'm just going to be giving you tips on what I think is good or bad about the song, and hopefully you can improve your production based on my suggestions. So, I've been getting lots of comments of people saying, do my song next week, do my song. I mean, I've got 380 submissions here, and so I just choose people's songs at random. So if you get picked, lucky you, but if you don't, please just don't get angry at me, because I'm only one guy, I can't listen to everything. Alright, so let's go with the first song here. Hey Slynk, thanks for the cool opportunity for feedback. Hopefully I'm not too late to the party. The following is a song that I wrote originally as a guitar tab, and then later took to Ableton as MIDI. I wrote a lot of the notes that are what I call cute, sad pop. It's pretty simple and to the point, nothing scientific. I like to think that the emotion in the song is what makes it strong. Alright, let's check it out. It's almost like a vocal synth or something. Pretty cool. Yeah, so I guess I kind of like the notes. I would say clearly this is a work in progress here. It's a bit short, but I feel like the intro is pretty long compared to the overall length of the song. And that's about it. Some twinkles at the end. Okay, definitely a good start to a song. I feel like, yeah, you're portraying a lot of emotion in those notes and stuff. The song could really use some lyrics. I don't think you really need to put too much more drums in there, like if that's your style. I reckon some lyrics, otherwise it sounds a bit too much like a film score or something. Like that bass sound is pretty cool. It's really wide. I'm not sure if it's wide down in the low end. And I think generally it's a bad idea to put stereo wideness on your deep subs. Generally sound systems have like a big stack of speakers here, a big stack of speakers here, and then like a row of subs underneath the stage or something like that. And usually like they just plug a mono signal into those subs from the left and right combined. And so if you put stereo wideness on your subs, you'll create lots of phasing issues, and so just be careful with that. But yeah, if you're using Ableton, all you need is a multiband dynamics and just solo the low band, and then you can add your wideness and effects to the higher bands. So you can create another chain in an audio effects rack and solo the mid range and turn off the high range, and then you've got a split from like say 120 hertz down and 120 hertz up, and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff up here. But just keep this stuff down here sort of mono and chill, It's a good idea to start with, I think. Musically, I can feel the emotion. Would love to hear some singing on there, or, some guitars, or just some like more natural elements. So you have like the real synthy sounds contrast with more organic sounds. Like when you bring in the twinkles and stuff like that near the end, I think it sounds pretty cool. Because it's almost like a glockenspiel or a xylophone that someone's playing along with the synth, and it's a cool contrast. But yeah, nice job, man. Keep it up. Let's check out the next song. Hey Slynk, decided to share the song I'm working on at the moment with you. I hope you notice this message. So this track is something, well, maybe not your style, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. I like making emotional stuff, and this track really is a good example of one. I think my main problem at the moment is my mix down, and I was hoping for some advice with it. It's still pretty early phases, so don't expect a perfect song. Also, the name and stuff is still not announced. Alright, cool. We've got work in progress name to be announced. Alright, cool. Let's check it out. I like the water sounds here in the intro. It's pretty cool. Alright, where's this gonna go? Is this gonna be awesome or not? It feels like the intro feels like it sounds pretty sweet. Hang on. Let's listen to that drop again. I know what you're saying about the mix down. It definitely sounds a little weird. I just can't quite put my finger on it. It's just a weird drop. I was honestly expecting the song to be like a 4 on the floor, like trance track. So for it to go into like a halftime dubstep type of beat was quite unexpected. Not much changes between what's happening over here in the intro and what's happening over here in the drop, except for that one bass sound, that brap. And then like the drums come in. Oh, there actually is that wah in the background there. It's just so drowned out by all the strings and everything else that I didn't even notice that it came in. How can you improve that? I mean, I always say that you should put like more staccato notes in your drops. People usually use legato notes, like long sounds in the build-ups. I only say that you should use staccato notes in the drops because it's just a contrast, you know, it's like a turning point in the song. So doing something different to what you were doing before changes the feeling in the song, you know, especially if you've got a big rising drop like that. So something different, like something more different needs to happen here. Chop the notes up or take the strings away and just have bass sounds and have the strings kind of just sprinkled in there a bit. It's hard to say, but let's listen on. Yeah, like the strings are so loud. Everything is like extremely loud. You are sidechaining things. I think you just got to go in and turn stuff down a bit. Turn it down and there's a ton of highs. It's very, very crispy in the high end. Let me check the sub again. I feel like what's happened here is you've sidechained stuff a bit and everything is super bright in the high end, and then you've slammed it into a compressor really loud. All the lows are getting drowned out. Turn things down a bit, then you won't have to use as much compression. I mean, you've got a lot of instruments happening here. It's going to be difficult to get them all sitting in their own space. The volume of each one is like all contributing to the overall signal. I think what you'll need to do to improve the mix down is automate how loud they are so that things are balanced instead of just playing them all max volume and then into a compressor, which will totally make them sound like shit. I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're doing. Maybe you are automating them, but let's check out the rest of the song. It's a really short drop. It's a really short drop for all this intro, and then you've just got like, I guess 16 beats of drop and then it breaks down again. It's kind of short. Sounds like a synth with a redux on it. If you're using Ableton, sounds like redux. Like it sounds very obviously like redux. This section here, when that bass came in and it kind of like everything crescendoed up to this one little sort of fake drop, that actually sounded really cool. I liked that. But some of those bass notes sounded a bit weird. Like this whole time we've had like a pretty established bass note movement, and then right here it changes, and right when I expected the bass note to change along with the melody or the arpeggiator, it didn't change and the note just held, and then it went to like a different note that we haven't heard before. I'm sure like that idea works musically. It sounded a little bit clunky. Like I was expecting the bass note to go down there, but it just holds. And the other thing I wanted to say is these drums. So the swing that you're using is pretty like triplet. It's like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 for the whole song, yeah. And then this drum comes in and it doesn't fit the same groove. Let's have a listen again. Yeah, like the drums seem pretty like 4/4. Whereas everything else in the song is like triplet, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, but your drums are like 1 2 3 4 or 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. It's weird to be 3 minutes into the song and for one single element to come in that's 4/4 compared to everything else that is 3/3. Let's keep listening though. Those drums are very quiet in the mix as well. Yeah, it sounds pretty similar to what we had over here. So this first drop is almost like you just took a half of this drop over here and just put it there. All right, you've got a couple of different basses in there, but they're so drowned out by all the strings and stuff. The strings are just slamming my eardrums. Just turn them down a bit. But yeah, otherwise, like all the melodies and everything are pretty cool. It's definitely pretty interesting. Keep up the good work, man. All right, so let's choose another song here. Hey man, I've already submitted a song for feedback, but I just finished another. Here it is. Would love to hear what you think, specifically any criticisms on my mix/master and song structure. Cheers. All right, dude, let's check it out. I don't know what Hypno grunge is, but I want to find out. I think the bass is actually clashing a little bit with the chords there because the chords are kind of quite low. You've got two pretty low bass notes one in the chord and one in the actual bass that you're playing very close to each other and it sounds kind of muddy, take the bass out and just play the chords, or play the chords higher. I think it would sound a little bit better like that. A little bit of guitar, that's kind of nice. Obviously the drums aren't hitting as hard as I would like for a song this style. More sidechain, always more sidechain. The main thing that's confusing me about this song is the musical elements just seem very sporadic in terms of like what key are we in, what notes are we really choosing here. It's hard to say. Let me listen to it again. I think there's definitely some parts in there musically that work really well, like that dun dun dun. And some of like the chords that rise up at the end there. It just feels a little bit clunky musically. It could be better imagined, I think. Mix down wise though, that's a tough one. Let's have a listen. There's definitely something wrong here. Hey, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. I'm just taping the next episode. Alright, I think the higher chords are maybe a little bit too loud and the lower bass notes are too soft. And I think the lower bass notes need to be a little bit louder and crispier so you can really feel them. And maybe experiment with playing just the bass without the chord on top, like offset them, you know, bass, then chords, then bass, then chords, to see how that changes the feeling. It's pretty challenging to play a big fat chord and a bass line at the same time with drums all at the same time. I think it's really hard to get a mix down like that, right? But just by offsetting things will mean that you're only playing one sort of main element at a time, and it makes it easier to mix it down. So you could maybe experiment with that. The chords on top feel like they are a little bit dry. There's not much movement happening with the chords. Maybe you could experiment with changing that a little bit. What else we got here? Breakdown's pretty cool. I like the reverse reverb stuff. Got some more redux there. Lots of redux. This drop felt more like a build-up. I think there's a bit of an identity crisis happening with this track. What kind of track is it? What's the main idea? What's the main point that you're trying to get across? Take the listener on a journey instead of just shoving different ideas at them one after another. That's what this last drop feels like. It's just too much for the listener to really have anything to hold on to. But yeah, cool. Keep it up, man. It's good to hear that you're writing more music. Let's do another one. Sup, Slynk? Hope you enjoy this. It's my best track so far. All right, let's check it out. We've got experimental glitch hop, I'm assuming. Inspired by Cohen sound. Crunch samples. Okay. That's actually a really cool idea. I know Mr. Bill does that a lot. Actually, side note, there's a pack you can buy called Vegetable Violence. It's a sample pack of people just like smashing watermelons and crunching like celery and stuff like that. And it sounds really cool when you like layer it over a snare or something like that. It's something that Mr. Bill does a lot with his crazy weird like kind of weird sounds, weird snappy snares, kind of like a pretty cool texture you can add. But let's check this out. I think it sounds pretty cool. I think it needs to be louder though. The whole thing needs to just be like turned up. Let's keep listening. I actually feel like this song is more inspired by Tipper. Maybe not Tipper, but what's that guy's name? Sun in Aquarius. Check out Sun in Aquarius because this guy, Sun in Aquarius, does this kind of like squelchy, weird music so well. If you checked him out and sort of listen to how he organizes his sounds, maybe drag one of his songs in as a reference song so that you can compare your mix down to his, I think you'll be able to like really nail this because I feel like you've almost got it. It just doesn't sound like punchy and loud enough. And I feel like some of the sounds could be refined a little bit more with a little bit of, Sun in Aquarius, exactly. Or is it Sun in Aquarius? I think it's Sun in Aquarius, like IN. I'd be interested to see like what the project file looks like because I bet there's just like a bunch of shit everywhere. When you're layering this many sounds, you've really got to be careful with like EQing and making sure that things are sitting in their own separate space in the spectrum. But I think it sounds really cool. It's almost there, dude. Vape noosh. Yeah, I feel like this sounds like something out of Scarface. If you ever seen that movie, like the 80s synth, like emotional stuff. All right, one other thing that's really irking me about this song is the swing and the groove of the drums, and actually the groove of the whole track. Like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Like put some swing on it, man. I reckon like it would sound way better if it was like, and then there was all this like kind of like crushing around it. That would like really, you know, get my head nodding, you know. Also like the gaps at the end of every phrase, you kind of go like, listen to this. There's another gap. Like maybe don't put a gap in the whole song after every like short phrase. I reckon you need to use gaps like that sparsely. Like listen to how straight those drums are, very straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those pluck sounds are cool. Overall, it's a pretty cool idea. Work on the groove of the whole track. Give it some swing, you know? And I reckon make the drums feel a little bit more consistent, less of those gaps at the end of every phrase. And then just try EQing all the sounds that you've laid on top a bit better, so each sound has like their own little spot in the frequency spectrum. If it doesn't have its own spot, it's got its own part in time. So this sound here, then that sound there, they might be in the same frequency area on the spectrum, but they're not playing at the same time, you know what I mean? But if you are playing two sounds at the same time, make sure that they have their own area in the frequency spectrum. And yeah, just turn it up a bit louder, get some more sidechain on there, always more sidechain, and I think it'll sound pretty cool. Listen to Sun in Aquarius, because you'll be blown away by how well he does this kind of style of music, and it might inspire you to write something better next time. Cool. All right, send me a track. One of you guys in the chat, send me a track. First person to send me a track, I'll put it in the episode. All right, you win. Let's check it out. 128 BPM Electro House. Okay, I like those little stutters and edits, that's pretty cool. I know you wrote this song like a year ago and you're probably not going to change anything, but I feel like those bass sounds, there's not a lot of content in the higher range. It's all very like mid-range and lower, and then because there's nothing else really happening in the high end, it sounds a bit weird, like there's just a gap in the whole frequency spectrum. Like if you listen to this section again, listen for the white noise and listen how much it stands out compared to the rest of the sounds. It's like, oh yeah, there's that part of the spectrum too. The white noise goes away and then you're like, huh. It sounds like really heavily compressed. And look at that waveform, it's just basically a giant sausage. Maximus? Oh, you use Fruity Loops? Yeah, so it's a heavy weaponry for the loudness war. Oh my god. It even says it right there, like, if you want loud sausages, fucking use this because it's heavy weaponry for the loudness war. Win the war with your maximum sausage. Yeah, I reckon there's definitely too much compression. I like how you've used a little bit of sidechain there. Seamless? Did he tell you to put that much compression on? Come on, Seamless. Hi, I'm Seamless. Anyway, let's keep listening. I like all the bass design you've done there. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of detail to this song, which I think is really cool. You've put a lot of effort into like all the details and things like that. Yeah, just the mixdown's not the greatest. What kind of monitors are you using? Okay, Rocket 5s. Alright, here's what you want to do. See how there's a high pass level adjust and a low pass level adjust? I think your mixdown has not enough highs. Yeah, your whole mixdown just seems really dulled. So here's what you got to do. Just turn down the high level on your KRKs, and then your ears will hear less high frequencies, and so you'll just automatically put more high frequencies in, just because you're like, that doesn't sound right, it needs to be brighter. And like experiment with it, like don't turn it down too far, just turn it down a little bit. That's what I do with mine. Like my Fostex PM2 MK2s here also have a high level adjust, and when I first got them, I was mixing down and there was just no highs. It sounded like your track right there. It was like really dulled. And so I turned down the highs on my monitors, and then I just started mixing better. Pretty cool. Lots of detail and lots of different bass designs, and the structure of the song seems pretty on point. Alright, thanks dude. A few of you people in the comments are saying, please do my song next week. Please do my song next week. Look man, I've got a lot of submissions, almost 400 submissions, so I just choose a song at random, and if you get picked then it's your lucky day, but otherwise, I'm sorry. Well, just chill out. Maybe you'll get lucky, maybe you won't. A lot of the things that I'm saying on other people's songs might apply to your song. So some people were saying, if I already submitted a track early on, but finished another track recently that I would rather submit, is that okay? And yes, you can submit another song if you've like already submitted one song. Feel free to submit your new songs. Just please don't spam email me with the same song. I noticed a couple people just sending the same email over and over again, and I have like 5 in my inbox. Come on guys, just send me the song once so that everyone has a fair chance of randomly getting selected. If you've released the song with any sort of distribution company like TuneCore or CD Baby or Symphonic Distribution, those services that distribute your songs out to iTunes and everything like that will also copyright protect your song and will automatically flag any YouTube videos that have that song in it. And that's why last week's episode was late. Don't send any songs that have been released by labels or distribution companies, just works in progress that you're working on that you need tips on, And something current. I mean, if you're sending a song that's like a year old, I don't really see the point, because, send me something that you've worked on recently, or that you're still working on right now. And then the feedback that I give you will actually be relevant. My like motivation for doing these videos is like, it's kind of cool to listen to what everyone's making. It's also pretty sweet to notice patterns of what people are struggling with most often, so that I can release tutorial videos. Alright guys, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week, next Friday. Peace.